Almost 30 years. It's almost 30 years of experience at the secondary level, helping students, helping their families navigate the college admissions process. I worked for 22 years at a school in Bethesda, which had a very embedded college culture to it, and then some temporary opportunities at other private schools. And I've also worked in public education, helping kids take that next step to go on to college. I know that college isn't for everybody. There are real issues with education, even before the pandemic. There were real issues of education, of affordability, of access, of level playing field and equity in the admissions process. But the pandemic has raised a whole host of new obstacles to higher education. Today, the uncertainty of the pandemic, of COVID-19, raises a whole host of new problems. Affordability is still an issue, but with declining enrollment that colleges are likely to see as a result of the coronavirus, college is only going to get more expensive. It's not going to get any cheaper. And then there's the issue of safety. If I were a parent of a high school senior, I'd be worried about my son or daughter going off to college right now. Part of the whole experience of college is living, in community and dormitories and things like that. It's also very risky these days, and I don't even think colleges know how they're going to serve this population. There may be a whole new set of rules that apply come September. The University of California state system, biggest school system in the country, college system in the country, has already said that they will not have students on campuses. It'll all be done remotely. I think some students will be able to do that, but a lot of students won't. That raises issues of equity. That who's got access to fast internet? Who's got the opportunities to stay at home, to study at home in a quiet environment? Who's got parents at a lower level? Who's got parents who can help them, learn the basic stuff that they need to go to college? But the healthcare system has inherent inequalities in it, and I think those somewhat parallel the inherent inequalities in the college admission system and the whole idea of going to college. Coronavirus has revealed those, and I think in some ways has also presented some interesting opportunities. For example, 10 years ago, not many people thought very seriously about going to a community college. I think people tended to look down their nose at that, but think what's happened in the last 10 years. As college tuitions have soared, community colleges provide a very reasonable opportunity and a very solid base of learning in the college experience. Now, in the time of pandemic, they also allow students to have a transitional experience to college. They would go away, or perhaps there would be some remote learning, but they would be away. But then they would be coming home, they wouldn't be residential, and they're in the safety of their own home. I think if I were a parent, that would be a very appealing opportunity for me right now. And then maybe to spend 2 years at a residential college and get the benefits that accrue from a residential experience. The other thing I think has changed in the landscape is that teaching has gotten really good at that level, at the community college level. Facilities are really good at the community college level. Affordability is not nearly the issue it is at that level than it is at a residential college, public or private. So I think that there's an opportunity for a lot of students to have a transitional experience, a transitional post-secondary experience, which may lead them to a residential experience down the road, at the same time maintaining a safe environment. That's an important factor for a lot of families today. I've looked at remote learning, and I think we've learned an incredible amount in the last 2 or 3 months about learning remotely. And I've seen it at the elementary level, at the middle school level, at the secondary school level. And I've seen it now starting at the college level. It's not an easy transition. It's not easy for the faculty. It's not easy for the students. Without the accountability of face-to-face time with your teacher, you may drift away from the process. So that I think it demands a lot of both students and faculty to learn effectively remotely. Think about kids who have special needs. It's going to be hard for them to sit down and focus for hours at a time on a screen when there's not the interaction that usually, the nuance, the context, the social relationships that would normally come in a traditional classroom. Order can come from chaos, but it's going to require an awful lot of creative thought, an awful lot of resources, an awful lot of willingness to change. Academia has not normally been a very changeable experience. People tend to stay in their tried and true methodologies. This is an opportunity for us to make the whole experience better, no doubt about it. Can we do it? Hope so.